Good morning, students. So in the last video we have seen about various operators available in C++. So we have seen types of operators and precedence of operators, so how the operator will be executed, and the last we have seen about punctuators. So in the last video we have seen all these three topics. So these are the discussion points which we are going to discuss in this video. So we are going to discuss about input operator. So how the input, so the value is given to the CPU with the help of the operator, and how the output is received from the C++ compiler, so that output operator. Third one is cascading of input and output operator. So how the both the input and output operator cascade themselves. So using two or more input and output operator in a single line. And we are going to see about a sample program, sample C++ program, and how the C++ program is executed. So we are going to see about the execution of C++ program and the C++ development environment. So we are going to see what are all the compilers available. So the open source compilers available to execute the C++. So in which all the environment the C++ program can be developed, and the common thing which we use for the developing C++ is the dev C++, that is a compiler, that is a dev C++. It is a development environment, the most commonly used C++ environment. And the last one we are going to see about the types of errors. So how the errors are identified by the C++ compiler, so how those errors can be rectified. So all these things we are going to see in the last topic, that is types of errors. So first one we are going to see about input operator. So in C++, it provides an additional operator to get the input from the user. So it uses a double greater than symbol. So it uses a double greater than symbol for getting the input from the user. So it means that it extracts the value through the keyboard and assign the value to a variable. So that is the meaning of the input operator. So that we call it as a stream extraction or get from operator. So it get the input from the user through the keyboard. So this operator can also be called as stream extraction or get from operator. It is a binary operator. Here you see in the diagram it has two operand. So one is before the input operator, before the symbol, and other one is the after the symbol. The first one is, that is a predefined identifier. So it has some predefined function. It is pronounced as cin. Cin, it is a predefined identifier which has a function, predefined function. It just gets the input from the user with the help of this input operator. So it is read as cin, and the double greater than, that is the input operator, is used, and the variable is used. So this is how the input operator works. Next we are going to see about output operator. So C++ provides a separate operator for performing the output operation. So it uses double less than. So this operator we can otherwise call it as stream insertion. So whereas in the input operator it is called as stream extraction. It extracts the input from the user. Here it just insert the value, the output value, to the variable and displays in the output screen. So that is why it's called a stream insertion or put to operator. So these are the two terms that this output operator can be called as, and it is used to send the strings or any value of the variable. The variable will be storing the values or any string on the right side, of that particular operator, that is output operator. So that right side of the value will be displayed in the screen, will be given as output. So that is the main aim of the output operator. This operator is also a binary operator. It has two operands. One is cout, that is it is a predefined identifier, that is cout, which displays the output in the monitor screen. And the second one is the second operand is the any constant. It may be a constant or variable or an expression or a calculation, whatever may be. So whatever given, that is right side of the operator, will be displayed in the monitor screen. So these are the two operators, that is input and output operator, used in C++. And next one is cascading of input output operators. So it is nothing but cascading means it just combines multiple operators, multiple input and output operators. That is the multiple use of input and output operators in a single statement. That part we call it as a cascading of input output operators. So first you see the example of cascading cout, that is output operator. So here the value 20 is assigned to the variable num, that is integer int num is equal to 20. Here you see two operators in the second line, two output operators are used, that is cout, the output operator, and the string a is equal to, it is given within double quotes. It means that the values that are given within double quotes in the cout will be displayed in the monitor. And next again the output operator is used, and you see the variable num, it is not given in the double quotes. It means that the value in num will be displayed. So whatever given within the double quotes will be displayed as it is given in the monitor. So in case if a text or a string which is not given within the double quotes, means it is understood that it is a variable, it has some value in it. That value will be displayed in the monitor. So this is how the cascading cout is used. So here you see the, as I said, the a equal to is given within double quotes, it is displayed in the monitor, and the num, the value in the num is 20, that value is displayed in the monitor. So this is how the cascading cout is used. In the next example you see cascading cin. Here in the first line cout, it is asking that enter two number. So the compiler is asking the user to enter two numbers. The content is the string, it is given within the double quotes. So enter two number, that colon also is given within the double quotes. So that content will be displayed in the monitor as a first line. And in the second line you see cin, and the extraction operator is used, and the variable a, it is given. It is not given within the double quote. It means that it is a variable. It is going to extract some value from the user and store it in a. And again the extraction operator is used, that is the input operator is used. Again the variable b is given. So it means that the user will enter two values. The first value will be extracted and is stored in variable a, and the second value will be extracted and it is stored in b. So you see the diagram, it is given. So the value 5 and 6, the value 5 is stored in a and 6 is stored in B. So this is how the cascading cin works. Next we are going to see a sample program which is going to print a string, that is welcome to programming in C++. So that is the aim of the program, to print a given string. So this program includes all basic elements that every C++ program will have. So all the basic elements will be available in this basic sample program. So first line is comment line, because it is started with a double forward slash. So it is a single comment line. So that is this line will be skipped from by the compiler, and just it is for an information. So for the user, the information is given in a program. So for that information purpose, these comment lines are used. So it will be skipped by the compiler, it will be avoided by the compiler even it has any mistakes or errors. That is the first line. And the second line is hash include, that is within the angle bracket it is given IO stream, that is input output stream. So usually all the C++ program begin with this include statement. So it is a hash include, that is within the angle bracket it is given IO stream. So it means that hash is a directive for the preprocessor. For preprocessor, it is going to process something before getting into the program. That is a preprocessor. What it's going to process? It is going to include some of the library files. That is a predefined functions. The predefined function which we are going to use in this program will be stored in a library, in a group of code. All the group of functions will be stored in a common library. So that library is, for example, here it is given as IO stream. All the input output function, predefined functions, what are all the predefined function related to input output we are going to use in this program will be stored in this IO stream. So for that purpose, we are going to include that library function. So for this is the second line. So for example, the input output the function means C in, C out. So all these predefined functions will be stored in that IO stream library. So we are going to include that in this C++ program. And the third line, using namespace standard, that is STD. So the line using namespace here tells the compiler to use the standard namespace. Namespace is nothing but it just collects the identifiers used mainly for creating classes, objects, variables. So all these comes under the namespace. Namespace provides a common method for preventing some any name conflicts in a huge program. So for that purpose, this namespace standard is used, that is using namespace standard. And the fourth line, this is the program first line, that is the starting of the program, int main. So with after main you see the normal bracket. So it means that main is a function. Whenever you see this normal bracket, open and close bracket, it means that it is a function. So main is a predefined function. So before that we have given some term, that keyword, that int. It means that it going to return a integer value. It is the main function is going to return a integer value. So that is a C++ program is a collection of functions. So every C++ program must have this main function compulsorily. The main function is the starting point where all the C++ program begin their execution. That is the main thing. Whenever we execute, even we execute 1000 lines of program, that program must have this main function. The compiler will start execute from this main function only. And next you see the open curly brace starts the block of the code. The main function has these two block of codes. That is, it indicates that open curly brace indicates that it is a start for the block of code. And next line, in sixth line, you see C out. That is, output operator, again the insertion operator. Welcome to C programming in C++, which it is given within double quotes. We are going to just print the string. For that, the cout operator is used. And next you see return 0, it is given, the 7th line. So it means that we have already told that this main function is going to return a integer value. So for that purpose, we are giving a integer value, default common integer value as 0. So by seeing this return 0, it is understood that the main function is going to return an integer because we have already declared as int main. So after seeing that int main, it will be looking off in the program for the return statement, whether the user has mentioned the return statement or not. So that return statement must hold an integer value. So that is, the return is a keyword. It is a predefined function. It is a predefined keyword which is used to return the value whatever we specify to a function. So here in that case it will return 0 because we have mentioned and 0, that is a common default value. Mostly we use that for returning the integer value, we use 0. So this main function will return the value 0. And the last 8th line, you see the closed curly brace. It means that main function block ends here. So that is the indication. The curly braces is used to indicate the block of code which belongs to the functions. So this is a sample C++ program. Next one we are going to see is execution of C++ program. So first we have seen a sample program. Now we are going to see how the C++ program is going to be executed. So first we have to create the source code. So creating the source code, that is nothing but typing and editing the valid C++ code as per the syntax, as per the rules followed by the C++ compiler. So first step is we have to create the source code. And next one is we have to save the source code with the extension as .cpp. It means that we have to type the file name .cpp. Similarly, how we save the Word document. So file name .doc. Like that here for C++, the file extension is .cpp. So after typing the source code, we have to save the document before compiling. And the third step is compilation. So this is the most important step in constructing a C++ program, because in compilation the compiler links the library files. So we have told that we are going to include the library files in the first line, that is hash include IO stream. So first the compiler links the library files with the source code, and it checks, it verifies each and every line of the code whether it is followed by the exact given rules and regulations, that is a syntax. And if any error found, any mistake found, it will just give an error message on that particular line. So on line number 10, this error found, so missing of the punctuators, like that. So it gives the error message. In case if there are no error means, it just translates the source code into a machine readable object file. So the program that is saved with the extension .cpp will be converted into an object file with the extension .obj. So the file will be converted to a machine readable object file. So in case if there is no error means. And the last step is execution. So this is the final step of a C++ program. So in this stage, the object file becomes an executable file with the extension of .exe. So first the extension is .cpp, then it is converted to machine readable object file with the extension .obj, and while execution, the extension changes to .exe. So once the program becomes an executable file, the program has an independent existent. So that program can be executed or run in any other machine. So the program that is independent existence. So this means the user can run the application without the help of the compiler or any IDE, that is integrated development environment. So after the program gets converted to a executable file, the program is independent existence. So it is fully independent. It doesn't depend on any compiler or an IDE. So these are the four common steps for executing a C++ program. So in the execution of C++ program, we have came across the term IDE, that is Integrated Development Environment. So now we are going to see what are all the development environment available, that is integrated development environment available. So there are a lot of IDE programs available for executing the C++ program, because the IDE only makes the user to create, compile and execute the C++ program easily. So that is the main advantage of the IDE. So most of the IDEs are open source. So open source means the software is available at free of cost and the user can edit or change the appearance of the IDE. So that is the main advantage of the so that is the main advantage of the IDEs, open source IDEs. So here you see there are various compilers available, that is IDEs available, which are open source, starting from the Dev C++, which is the most commonly used IDEs for compiling the C++ program. And following that, there are various code blocks, CodeLite, NetBeans, Digital Mass, and Sky IDE, and Eclipse. So all these are the open source IDEs. So most commonly it is Dev C++ is used, and most of the companies use NetBeans and Eclipse, and based on their comfort zone, the user will choose the IDEs. So this is all about the C++ development environment. So as already said in the previous slide, Dev C++ is the most commonly and most familiar used C++ compiler to create the C++ program. And Dev C++ is a open source software, and it is a cross platform. So it is also available for Linux also. So cross platform is nothing but it can be used for both Windows and Linux, and it is full featured integrated development environment, mainly distributed, and it is developed under the GNU general public license. So it is the most common license issued for an open source software. That is, GNU is nothing but generally not Unix. So it is a full form of generally not Unix, that is GNU GPL. It is called as GNU GPL, General Public License. So it is written in a Delphi programming concept, and it can be downloaded from various source of internet. In various source, we can easily download the Dev C++. And first, after installation, the Dev C++ icon will be available on the desktop. That is a shortcut icon. You can double click the icon for opening the IDE. Here you see the how the appearance, the Dev C++ IDE looks. So this is how the Dev C++ IDE looks like. Next we are going to create the source file. So that is a new C++ program that we call it as a source file. For that we have to select file, new, and we can select the source file, or we can press Ctrl N, the shortcut key. So in the screen it appears you can type the C++ program, and after that you have to save the C++ program file, save, or you can just use a shortcut key as Control S, and you have to give the extension while saving. You have to give the file name .cpp. So by default it will be .cpp. It will be added by default. The extension will be added. The user no need to type the extension in addition. And after saving that, the user can execute either by pressing the F11 key, the function key, which will be available in the top first row of the keyboard. And the after pressing the F11 key, the program will be executed, that is compiled, or the user can select it from the execute menu. The menu will be available execute, and there the user can select compile and run menu. So after selecting that, the compile log will be generated in case if any error found, or in case if any warnings found. So like that, the compile log will be generated. So after successful compilation, the output screen will be displayed in a separate screen, separate window, that is the output console. So you see a black color screen. So that is the output screen of the Dev C++. And the last topic which we are going to see is the types of errors. So in case if any error found in the program, so how the errors are categorized, how the errors are grouped. So there are three common types of errors. The first one is syntax error. So syntax is nothing but a set of grammatical rules to construct a program. So every programming language, each and every programming language, not only C++, each and every programming language has its unique rules for constructing the source code. Say for example, the syntax error occurs when grammatical rules of C++ are violated. So you see the example is welcome to programming in C++, the C out statement. At the end they have missed the semicolon. So it is a syntax error. So like this they have categorized the errors under the syntax error. And next one is semantic error. So a semantic error, a program has not produced expected result even though the program is grammatically correct. It may produce some wrong output because of the wrong use of variable or operator or the precedence or operator. So while mistaking on these concepts, the output may not be exactly produced. So this means that the program is grammatically correct, but it contains some logical error. So semantic error can also be called as logic error. And the third type is runtime error. So a runtime error occurs only during the execution of a program. So it occurs because of some illegal operation that takes place while execution. For example, if a program tries to open a file which does not exist, if you want to open a file by using the program, if you are trying to open a file but the file is already not exist, so that is a runtime error. So these are the three common types of error classified in C++. So in the next video, we will see about the data types. So what are all the various data types available, and how the variable should be declared, and how the expressions can be created. So all these things we will see in the next video. Thank you, students.